Good morning, welcome everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the International Association of Retired Supermodels. As your chairman of the board, oh wait, that's yesterday's webinar. Oh, well, I guess we're doing Forex. So welcome to the Forex.today YouTube channel. Let's trade some gold, let's trade some oil, dollar, yen, euro, pound, Swissy. Anything else? Whatever. G'day, mate. All right, I wanted to try something different, and it just occurred to me. So it's a little dark, right? And then I turn that on. What's that like? It still looks like I'm sitting in the dark, right? All right, hang on. No, just getting funky with it. No. Getting jiggy with it. All right, hey, so good morning. Hey, my name is Wayne McDonald. I'm a currency trader just like you. So let's go through the charts, and I'll use my almost, 15, 20 years of experience to go over the technical analysis with you, discuss any fundamentals. No, what is the whole point? What is a raison d'etre? Well, a couple things. One, I need to teach you how to plan your trades in advance. When you do that, you are no longer an amateur. You're on your way to being a success. And two, once you're a successful trader, you'd be a really good trader to work with Trader's Way. It's either a foreign exchange brokerage firm, and if you were a successful, conservative, disciplined, profitable trader that slowly grew your trade account and increased lot size as it grew, over a period of days, weeks, months, and years, you'd be a fantastic client to have. So that's sort of the second part. So if you don't mind, let's kind of fix your technicals. Let's get your trader psychology all squared away, and let's put you on a path. It still will include blood, sweat, and tears for years, but a path that should lead you to success. So let's work together, and your success will be a symbiotic success. You'll be a good trader. You'll have a good broker. That makes sense, right? So if you're new to these webinars, visit tradersway.com. Open an account. Check out the execution speed. Check out the competitive spreads. Check out the world-class customer service. Check out the amazing swaps. And then you can download my chart templates for free and install it into your Trader's Way MT4. Cool. Neat, right? Right? Neat. So let's go to here. I used to have a... All right, cool. Oh, you know what I should do? Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. And would you please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Oops, I guess we should be here. Lucas says, oh my God, Wayne, the Turkish lira. Yeah, well, Erdogan and Trump did a deal. Turkey rolled into Syria. And the lira moved. Of course it moved. That's why that's why you use stop losses. Okay. Gift says, sir, is there a video where you explain how pivot points work? Well, I almost explain it every day, which is helpful, so I'll continue to do that. But you can also go to fxbootcamp.com and sign up for the training courses there, which very definitely consist of pivot points. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So lots of questions rolling in. I'm trying to read them. And why is the chat not in? You know what? YouTube has changed the chat. Hang on. So I got to update that. Hang on. Let's just do it here. Because I think I noticed that yesterday and said I'd do it after. And of course I didn't. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on, Bubba. Show you where you are. YouTube.com/forextoday/live, Bubba. Billy wants me to look at Beast. Sure. There we are. Daniel watched 6 hours of WoW training. Awesome. Awesome. All right, this is us, guys. Look at us. Look at us. We're looking at ourselves. Neat. All right, I need pop out. Oh, don't go full screen, dude. My screen's too big. There we go. I wanted this. Okay, I got to copy that. Now I got to go back to this thing. And I got to go to this setting. And then I got to click on this thing. And then I got to click on this thing. And then I need to click on this thing. And then I need to paste that. And then I have to hit done. And that should work. It's not working. What? All right. Well, I'll have to work on that later. I don't know why it's not working. All right. Whatever. All right. I'll refresh it. Yeah, well. All right. So anyways, good. Wayne, when are the new swing trading videos out? Well, I suppose after I record them, Andrew. Okay. All right. So let me get going. I need to move this a little this way. Cool. Let me get going. We'll go through the motions here, and then I'll address specific questions. All right. Let's start with WTI. Wow, now I got hiccups all of a sudden. Okay, still a bit of a downtrend. Maybe, just maybe, just maybe, just maybe, just maybe, maybe. Bottoming out here on an M2. So, once again, drawing tool, please. Won't on fire, nobody saved me but you. I never dreamed I'd trade the lira like you. All right. Good. All right, so that was supposed to be white. There we go. Bup, 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 bup. Okay? If you're a bull, that's kind of what you're looking for. We bounced on yesterday's M2. Maybe we're going to bounce on today's M2. Yesterday's M2, today's M2. Maybe create double bottom and then maybe up to the better direction. Notice that we're bouncing off the psych level of 52. Okay. Let me back out a little bit. Okay. You can see when you look at it from this point of view. So this is the daily. And you can see that we had a big move, a big rebound. But going back to June, it's been very much sideways, right? Adam, I probably covered that on Monday. What's the big news today? PPI? Irrelevant. The big news today is the speech, and that's at 2:30. Okay. So anyways, what I'm looking at here is, again, this is going all the way back to June. Here's a bottom at June. Here's an attempt to recover. And then here's a new bottom today, actually. That's where we are right now. That's interesting, isn't it? If we could start on daily charts, let's say, start working our way back up. Because then if we were going to sort of change things slightly, that's not very helpful. Let's do gray. Okay. You get kind of a pattern like that. Okay. Now I want some stability to the pattern. I'm hoping to avoid something like this. I don't really want okay. What I would prefer is Okay, so I don't know. What are you going to do? Huh? So this goes back to the point where I said, was it here? I guess it was about here. Let me highlight that. I think in this period is when I asked you, do you believe this is going to 60, or do you believe this is going to 40? So hopefully you remember that. Unfortunately, we kind of went up and then and nothing. Would you say, with it retracing 100% after the drone attacks, that the sentiment is bearish in oil? Well, I don't want you to. Here's how I look at it. Okay, Jimbo? I want oil to tell me how the world is thinking. I don't want to say, well, based on how I think the world is thinking, I will have an opinion on oil. I want oil to tell me. So the oil, as you mentioned, oil spiked on the drone attack and came all the way back down. Cool. That means back to normality. Okay? There was an exogenous supply shock. It went up very quickly, as you would expect. And then we found out it was really no big deal. Why? Saudi Arabia is not the swing producer anymore. The United States is. So Saudi Arabia went offline, and okay, we're lucky it came back online, I guess is another way of looking at it. So we're right back to where we were. Now, if it falls below 50 and continues down, that is an indication of an economic slowdown. This is why I was using white. I should go back to white. Okay? And so we know that that's there, but it becomes more of a concern. It's less rhetoric. So in the news, there's lots of rhetoric. But oil dropping below that psych level is sort of like mathematically important, not necessarily psychologically, but what I mean by that is we actually see, based on real supply and demand, not fear, not opinion, but real decline in demand, right? It's a real indicator, so to speak. I would find that, well, economically and fundamentally important, okay? Now, using technical analysis, bears are selling up in here, and their target's down here, okay? So the low here is really 49, maybe 47. So it really comes down to how will we play off the $50 psych level, okay? Okay? Does that make sense, Jimbo? Like, you're not wrong. I don't mean to say it that way. I just say, like, let's look at it from the opposite point of view, so to speak. Let's let oil tell us about market sentiment, not the other way around. Don't let market sentiment make decisions for you. Okay? You know, like I'd almost say, like, go back to my story about the Walkman. Everyone loved the black one, and then they went out to the hallway and they picked up the yellow one. You know, this is true. This is the true voice. What happens to oil is the true voice of the economic situation. Okay. Right on, Elliot. That's cool. Okay. So anyways, we're at a key level on a daily and maybe at double bottoms here. On a weekly and monthly, right, not really, it doesn't really give much hope for upward move. So really, if you're a bull, you're waiting for the market to do it anyways. Then the psych level here, and then of course the actual target here. So I'd say if it doesn't start going up now, you know, let's say if the market doesn't defend 50, then we're really truly on our way down to really as much as 47. Okay, in the short run. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay. Progressive House. What's up, National Music Progressive House? I'm sort of a deep house guy myself, but that's cool. You're welcome. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. If you subscribe when I start streaming, YouTube is supposed to notify you and bring you in if you're available. Daniel, take the training courses at fxbootcamp.com. There's dozens and dozens of hours of training dedicated and focused on helping you understand the market better. Okay? All right. Cool. So here's our role reversal plan. Still hasn't not done it. I think that's positive. My wife would know. She's really good at double negatives. So we'll see what's going on here. Of course, a lower low would kill that, right? So yeah, I don't want to write it down here. Notice that this is our plan B at 62. Okay, that for Kiwi Swissy. Oops, I guess I should leave it up there. Okay. So again, bounce off support, higher high, higher low. 1, 2, 3 is the technical trade plan. Back to the top of the range, off of the, you know, in the buy zone. Remember, down here is the buy zone. And when did we do this? I think we did this last week, actually. I might have done this last Thursday. So there's the buy zone if you're a bull. Of course, the logic of the bull is the bottom that a blind man can see. That's the 1. The higher high above this area is the 2. And then the 3 is the buy zone. Okay, so in here. So the trade plan, to spell this out in blue, is up, down, and up. Okay, but we did this Thursday, 5 days ago. It's still just kind of working its way. Pro Trader, your comments keep getting blocked. It's amazing. I keep having to allow them. I don't know why they're blocking you so much. You're not saying anything bad. Progressive house, huh? Yeah, I keep thinking like more of a deep house guy. I even used to like garbage. Really sort of dark house. You know, somehow that reminds me of an entrepreneurial story about myself. If you don't mind me talking about myself, I went to a rave 1,000 years ago. I went to a rave in Oakland, actually, Oaktown Power, charged by the hour. So I walked into this place. I'm like, everyone is on ecstasy. Like, wow, like, cool, I guess. I'm like, but I don't have any ecstasy. But I looked and people are like, oh, look, I got glowing light sticks. Woo, look at me. I can dance with a glowing light stick. And I look around. I'm like, dude, who the hell are selling all these glowing light sticks? And I walked around and people didn't have them. People were bringing them on their own, but they were not selling them there. So I'm looking around and I'm like, So I get home the next day and I'm making phone calls, figuring out where to get these things. Now, they're everywhere now, but back then they were quite new. And I'm literally on the phone talking with suppliers, bringing them in from China or something, trying to get these glow sticks, you know, where you go and you break them, they glow pink and they glow green. I'm like, psh, and I want kind that can go around your neck. And again, this is back when that was brand new. That's sort of the entrepreneur I am. I'm like, I got to sell these. If I can't sell ecstasy, I need to sell glowing lights to people on ecstasy. And you're like, yeah, man, good move. That one I never did, actually, but I made the phone calls. Garbage used to be pretty good. Yeah, Russ. The good old days. All right. All right, cool. Well, so far this is just doing what we expected it to do. Okay. This is the beast. What do you think? This goes back to our trade plan. It must have been even more than a week ago. But anyways, let's draw it out. Plan A would have been like this. Okay, that's plan A. That didn't work. And then plan B would have been like this. Okay? And we're just still playing that out. So that's in the back of my mind. Capiche? That's the basis of my thought process. And of course, in yellow, let me mark it this way. You know, well, okay, in black, let's do it this way. Okay? So there's my bottom. Okay? There's the entry, the 3rd week of August, by the way. Okay, and now we're looking for the 3 of the 1, 2, 3. Cool. Will we get it? I don't know. But if we get the 3 of the 1, 2, 3, I want to get long. I want to get with ya and take your picture. Okay? So, cool. Right on. So, let's now try to thread the pearls here onto a string of pearls. Okay? we might get a counter trend here. Probably not though, just because it's not at the right price. It's the right scenario, but it's probably not the right price. So what I'm thinking is, and by the way, I'm about to jump 7 days in the future. Okay, so there's 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days into the future. Okay, now I would become a buyer, most likely around 130, but as low as 129.50. Okay? Capiche? I'm going to go to a daily chart now. Okay, so let's mark this then. Oops. Let's mark this for history's sake. I may consider buying at 130 to 129 and a half. Is that right? 129 and a half. Yeah, that's about right. Cool. Now I'm going to change the time frame here to daily. Okay? So that we wrote down in that purplish area, right? So the plan, Stan, right? I might not be a smart man, but I know what the trade plan is. Okay. Okay, so now we're looking at next week. If I get the reversal pattern there, then I'm thinking this. Probably not that high, but okay. Okay. Anna says, are you still bearish over all in the pound? Well, leaving Europe is not a good idea economically. Okay? I mean, what is your screen size? I mean, desktop screen. Well, I have an 18-inch laptop. Okay? It's this big. By the way, I just bought a new laptop. You guys like computers and stuff, right? For some of you tech guys. So I got an OLED laptop. Neat. It'd be my first OLED laptop. So it's on its way. I should have it in a week. It's being made. Anyway, so, and that's only a 14-inch, but it's sort of, I want something to travel with. I'm preparing to travel a lot more next year. And also, I do a lot of schoolwork and I'm in cafes a lot and stuff. And my 18-inch is just too big. And then I bought, a cheap, like, $400 laptop to do schoolwork on. And it's funny, it came with, brand new computer came with such small memory and such a small hard disk that as soon as I turned it on, it's like, hey, there's a Windows update. And I'm like, oh, crap. And so after 3 hours of trying to download the update, it says, you don't have enough space in your hard disk. Dude, I just bought it, right? So anyways, and every time I start the laptop, it tries to download the update. It's been 2 years, right? So funny. But so you can skip it and get rid of it after about 5 minutes. You can tell it to stop doing it. There's no way. I've even gone into the BIOS to try to turn off the update. It just will always do it. So anyways, and then I think it only had 2 megs of RAM or something, but it was this, or no, probably 4 megs of RAM, but it was just the standard. Like I bought it brand new, like a, whatever it is, a Dell something, right? Or just straight up off the shelf. And then so I got about 5 or 6 windows open because I'm doing research, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're going to have to shut down your browser windows. There's not enough memory. I'm like, oh my God, it's brand new. I can't surf the web, and I can't download the update, and there's nothing on it. It's a clean machine. So anyways, I just got sick of that. So I needed something in between, sort of a daily. And so this one's 14. It's a little bigger. 5,000 mAh battery. Plus it's OLED, so it's only lighting up certain pixels, not all pixels. There's no backlighting. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anyways, someone asked, oh, so I got the 18-inch screen, right? But then you want to know how much big the other screen is, and that's 49. So the screen that I'm using to do the webinar is this big. But it's only this high. It's really cool. JCOM 95 or 100? I don't know. Actually, Jean-Guy? Actually, I don't know what that is. I feel so bad because I don't. But to the person that asked about the setup, actually, it just occurred to me. Oops. Whoa. Hang on. If I move this over there, let's do this. I go to youtube.com/fxbootcamp. Volatility in the future, especially at the end of the month. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Oh, that's cool. Don't worry about it. Actually, I did this. I forgot about it. Check this out.
I know you're familiar with this 4K trading setup that I have, but what you wouldn't believe and what I'm going to unveil today is how pathetic my webinar setup. It's
Check that out. So I go through the actual setup. It's the unboxing of this new screen. And by the way, I love it. Now, it's a QLED. So Samsung says, oh, QLED, it's just like OLED. No, it ain't. It's nice, but it ain't that nice. OLED is redonkulous. Is that right, Luis? That's cool, but we already knew we're sort of in a scenario like that. Oh, thank you, Ron. We already knew that, so that's not information, right? Carlos, I'll update with a template for you, okay? Okay, Carlos? I'm going to spend some time today. I'm sick of doing homework. So I'm going to add a couple of, well, probably 3 or 4 new templates to the download area. Okay? So I'll get you taken care of. All right? Sanjay says, Wayne, can you detail the setup? I want to hear every word you speak. What setup? Which one? Okay. All right. So anyways, there's the beast. So we're in the right spot. So now you got to use technical analysis to confirm your timing. Okay. Let's go back up. This is again old analysis. This goes back to what I did non-farm payrolls. Okay. And really nothing, this tiny little white box that you can kind of just see, I did that during non-farm payrolls. So basically nothing has happened since last Friday. It's just a nickname from 15 years ago. Okay. Prince says you should have got the Surface Pro with pen. So I didn't get the Surface Pro, but I did get an OLED touchscreen, 14-inch, 1 terabyte SSD, 16 gigs of RAM. it folds in half. So it's a Yoga X1 Pro, and it does have a pen. So I can fold it in half, pull it out, and do a pen. And I thought like I could even do my webinars. So it's not a 4K screen, but it's better than 1080p. I guess it's a 2K screen, right? So it has a 2K screen, which means I can do my webinars on it because there's enough room where I can set up where I'm displaying a 1080p charting package to you, and then have room over on the side to have chat. And then I thought I can flip it over, and I could even do my webinars, like let's say when I'm traveling, I can do my webinars with a pen, and I could draw here and draw there instead of using, you can't really do a very good job if you're only using the touchpad, which I'm doing here. So then you have to have a mouse because it's easier to draw things. Well, now I can just draw with my pen. I'm like, oh my God, a 2K OLED screen on a laptop with a pen? I'm like, buy it. Sanjay, I still don't know what you're asking me. So, okay, on a blank template. Okay, let's do a blank template. Okay. Craig Tuner, so all your new indicators are on the, yeah. There's 12. There's 12 besides the standard setup, right? Yeah, there's 12 additional. Yeah, you know the yoga? I think it gets good reviews. Like one of the things it does is when you move it from a laptop to a tablet, it pulls all the keys in on the keyboard. The keys actually go inside. I'm like, ooh, and then you put it back to tablet or back to laptop, and the keys come out of the keyboard. I'm like, oh my God, that's cool. Okay, so, oh, see you, Carlito. A tutorial of what? Just basic trading setups? Oh, okay, well, let's go back to this. Let's go back. See, I've done all this, guys, for you 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So all the information's there, which is really cool. So, right? Yeah. Yeah, and Jimmy says pay some money. Yeah, well, if you want detail, like if you want 20 hours of training, you're going to have to go to FX Bootcamp and pay, right? But anyways. Hang on. Start with here.
Well, look.
Okay, this is a great place to start.
So I want to look for reasons to short. Well, what's a reason to short? Well, how about pull the trigger and sell the currency pair every time?
Cashin says, do you think euro will go down today? Now, first of all, I don't think like that because I don't trade like that. So let's take a look at euro and discuss a different way. Now, first of all, we just looked at it, okay? Cashin? Did it go up or down yesterday? Did it go up or down the day before? No. It hasn't done anything since NFP, and NFP had only moved like 50 pips. Okay? So let's take a look at how to analyze this. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart. So between the end of August, so let's say from the beginning of the month till now, which is what, 8 days? There's a slight bearish trend in play. Okay? So you're asking me, do you think it'll go down today? Well, first of all, that's a reasonable thing to think, right? Because it has been down. Now, we just got a 2155 crossover on a 4-hour. Technically speaking, this market is bullish. Okay? Now, the market has been very bearish, and that's why even though the market has turned bullish, we are returning to the neutral zone, what I call fair market value. Okay? So you're saying it seems bearish and nothing since Friday. Well, technically it's bullish. Okay? Now, if you don't see that, you're like, well, Wayne, why is that bullish? Then you need to click that link that I posted just above, right? This link here. You need to go through and watch all those videos. It'll take you an hour, hour and a half to watch those videos. And it'll explain in incredible detail why I think this is currently, technically, not my opinion, technically bullish. Doesn't mean you buy, doesn't mean you have to buy. It just means if you're a bear, I have no problem with you being a bear cushion, right? But you shouldn't sell now. Okay? Maybe in the near future, but certainly not now. Now let's take it one more step. Well, let's take it a couple more steps. Let's start with a big point of view and our work our way down. Okay? Okay. Now, based on the month, you are in a sell zone. On that smaller time frame, on the, well, I guess it's still a 4-hour chart. On this 4-hour chart, you are in the right zone for selling, but your timing is off. So you have the right price, but not the right time. Cool. So you'll either sell later or not sell later. Wayne, what is that link again? Okay. Okay, cool. But it's the right price. Okay? And your target is about 107.5, 107.50. Okay? Cool. Let's change the point of view again. Let's move away from the month to the week. Okay? On a weekly basis, this is the exact price that you would like to sell. Not in the zone, the exact price. The exact price is 109.89. Once again, however, your timing is not correct. You have the right price, but not the right time. So you're close, but not yet. Let's drop into yet another small time frame. Remember, change the point of view. It's all relative, as Einstein explained to us. So let's go here. Okay? And this looks like it might go up a little farther before coming down. So we know we're in the right area for the monthly. We know we're at the exact right price for the weekly. This is not quite ready on the daily, but we already know that because it's technically bullish. Technically, it probably should go up to about M4. It might get hung up on this R1. That's cool. Doesn't matter. We're not trading it now. But what we might be able to do is trade it tomorrow. Okay? So what could happen is we get something like something like that tomorrow. And if I get that opportunity, Cashin, if I get that opportunity tomorrow, it's interesting because it's basically the same price, but I need the market to confirm. I'm not a degenerate gambler, and I'm totally in control of my behavior. So I say, I got the right price, but if I pull the trigger here, I'm gambling. I'm guessing. I'll bet you it falls from here. I don't do that. Okay? So I'm like, okay, this is the price I'd like to see some bearish activity. So now, market, show me bearish activity if you want me to sell. I'm not going to be the first one in. Okay? So if this goes from a pretty, almost 12 hours of bullishness to 12 hours of bearishness, then tomorrow I'm probably going to sell a lower high. Okay? Cool. Or I drop out of the 4 hour and I sell it here with with bearishness, but on a 15-minute or a 5. That's my other shot. So let's do it that way. We can go into a 15-minute chart. Okay? Now the problem with this is you have to be so right that you have to go against a 4 hour 21.55. So you could play it like this. And then I'll make a comment here in a second, but I want to make sure you see it. Okay? That could be today's trade plan. But the part that makes this interesting is that it's on tomorrow's M3. It's not a plan about today. Today, it's saying this is your timing is off. Okay? If you're making this move based on what you see, well, I guess I'll do it this way, on tomorrow's setup, then you have that permission. This is tomorrow's swing trade. You're day trading tomorrow's pivots. Okay. Okay? But that's aggressive. Okay? So I don't care about today's R1. I care about tomorrow's M3. So I'd like to see some bearishness and then a retracement and then back up. Okay? Or back down. Okay? Notice the market is currently bullish on a 15-minute chart and on a 4-hour chart. So I really don't want to be too aggressive. Okay? Did that answer your question, Sanjay? And someone else, and Cashin too, I think, right? Cool. Yeah, that's in the how to trade the news. It's in a couple of places in the FX Bootcamp. There's 2, probably 3 videos on trading the news. Yes. Okay, fxbootcamp.com. I don't care about that, Garrett. Irrelevant to me. Where do you live, Sanjay? What part of India? Just go looking at our trade plan here for gold. What part of India is that? Gujarat. Euro yen, please. Yeah, we can do euro yen. Okay. But anyways, there's gold. Did anyone do a follow-up to the trade? Oh, is that right? Oh, you guys did the follow-up on gold, huh? Seems to be fairly reasonable with the trade plan. Yeah, I'm due to go back to India for sure. But I think it's pretty difficult to trade Forex there, so I only go for sort of personal reasons. Do I trail my stops? No. No, I move them manually. Hang on, guys. It's really hot in my office this morning. Hang on. All right. You kind of like intraday trading. Well, first of all, most people start with intraday trading. My concern with that is that they don't know how to trade, so they suck. So that's my first concern. By intraday trading, it means you trade 3 or 4 or 5, maybe 10 times a day. It's somewhere between spot trading and scalping. Most people that do this have no concept of trade planning, fundamental analysis, and they rely purely on responding to technical analysis, which means they have a very mechanical style of trading. So they're waiting for this to cross over that, or for this thing to do that thing. And in the long run, that's not the right way of doing it. But intraday trading is a big part of trading. I would recommend that you do the opposite. I would recommend that you learn how to trade on a monthly basis, not monthly charts, but like learn how to plan the month. So every month, right? So last month, what was it, about September 15th? Right? September 15th, I started planning October. Okay? And from that, I can have follow-on trade plans on smaller time frames. But that's where I would start. If you can analyze the direction of the market, your follow-on trades will, if they're, let's say, have congruency with that one idea, then you're probably going to be better off. And then you can drop into smaller trade plans and say, well, if you think gold is going up for the month based on your trade plan, not on your gut feeling or your whatever, like on your analysis. If your analysis says gold is up, then we know we can stack weekly trade plans that are bullish, 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 and bullish. Cool. And then if you know this week should go up, then today's trade plan being bullish and tomorrow's trade plan being bullish should fit inside that week, and that week should fit inside the month, and it's all compartmentalized. Whatever, each brick in the wall, right? So that's how I would do it, because if you don't know what's going to happen today, placing 10 trades, some long and some short, are just going to lead to your destruction. Yeah, Alex says, I traded the 1 minute chart every day for a year. Okay. And what was the experience like? First of all, I was obviously an intraday trader there. So at that time I was making, somewhere between 10 and 30 trades a day. And I found my consistency came from the fact I had trade plans on higher time frames. I, I felt like that might be true going into the experiment, but the experiment clearly confirmed that my results were like fantastic when I was trading the 1 minute chart based on what I saw in the 4 hour. Okay. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Okay, this trade plan is going away and we'll never see it again. Too bad, so sad. Let's do standard. I don't see anything amazing. Okay, I suppose that one. All right, so on this daily chart now, this is a daily. Can't see it. There we go. Man, I got to get rid of that stuff. It never worked. All right. All right. Based on this, I might have a general plan that price is returned to the 55, is going to go up to here and then down to the 21. Okay? Up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, 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 down. Okay? Right? So if you just take those video training courses that I just put up there, the free training, you'll know what I'm doing here. So I would assume at this point, something like this. Now that, because we're on a daily chart, that's probably 2 weeks of trading. So I'll say up for a couple of days and then down for a few days. Okay? Maybe long, actually down several days. Okay, over the next 2 weeks, this will go up for a few days and then go down for several days. Okay, great. Now, on a 1 minute chart, I know I'm in this process of more up than down. So that will, right, that will dictate a lot of my trading. Okay, now I'm on the 1 minute. And I'm looking for reasons to buy. You see how I just very, very quickly filter off of that? Well, even more than it, Alex says, oh, I see, it wasn't the 1 minute exclusively. You established and picked and settled a bias first. Well, actually, I already knew what the bias was. So I could do a very quick analysis, and usually my analysis would be about 4 seconds. And I would look at where, let's say, the hourly moving averages are, 1 to 8, right? And the 4-hour MAs are. Okay? So I want to know, like, where's the 21, for example. That might be it. And I look at where the 21 is on the 1 hour. I look at where the 21 is on the 4 hour, and I'm golden. I'm ready to go. And since I had, at that time, I think I only had 12 screens. If you go back then, I might have only had 12 screens. It was terrible. Here's what my analysis would look like trading the 1 minute chart. Okay, I'd do this. You ready? Done. I'd say 21 on the hour, 21 on the 4 hour, done. Okay, that's why I have a lot of screens. People love to heckle me. Okay? Okay? So if I know where those prices are and I know I'm a buyer on near those prices, then I just have to say, well, so let's say I thought the 21 EMA on the hour was about here. Let's say I thought the 21 EMA, well, let's put that the 4 hour. And let's say I thought this was the 1 hour. Okay, now that we're near this, I start buying. And I do things like oscillator crosses, 5/8 crosses, whatever. At that point, it's easy. Okay? But that's why I had lots of charts. So again, right? If I had, typically I had like, I think I had a 15-minute chart here. I had a 1-minute chart here. I had an hourly and a 4 hour. So I had a 15, a 1, a 60, and a 240 minutes. Okay? And my eyes would do this. Where's the 21 here? Where's the 21 here? Where's the 21 here? I'd get a good idea, and then I would take the 1 minute and I would just go expand, and now I'm just trading the 1 minute chart. And I know, oh, it's got to fall a little bit, and then I'll start buying. Okay? Okay? So what that does is, like, I ignored this whole area here because I know I was drifting from the 4 hour 21 to the 4 hour 55. And then once we hit the 4 hour 55, I go ape crazy long. By ape crazy, I mean 5/8 cross up, buy. 5/8 cross up, buy. 5/8 cross up, buy. 5/8 cross up, buy. 5/8 cross up. I might make 10 trades that morning. All long. Stack them and pack them. Scalp, 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 scalp. But sometimes I'd scalp up to the next level of resistance and take all the trades off. Sometimes I would just like add one, add one, add one, add one, add one, add one, add one. Okay? My 6-9 rule. What's my 6? Remind me what's my 6-9 rule. What would my 6-9 rule be? Garrett says, where did I learn Forex money management? I learned from a business planning retreat I did with myself. And at that retreat, which was at the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay, California, I decided I needed a 3-year pro forma cash flow statement. And I did my financial projections like any business person would, and found out I was crazy over leveraged. And from that, I found my own. From doing the math, I found out what proper management would be. I literally found out that if I kept trading the way I was trading, by the end of 3 years, I would have like $100 billion. And I said, that's more than enough for me to be satisfied. And maybe it's telling me I'm over leveraged now. So I said, well, what would my leverage need to be if I was going to grow? Let's say the projections are accurate, but the lot sizes are too big. So I said, well, if I was trying to, instead of like, let's say, make 100 billion, what if I was just trying to make like 1 million a year? I should dial down my lot size, right? Well, what should I dial it down to? And of course, I did it in such a way that I could just change the lot size and it would tell me how much money I'd have at the end of the year, at the end of the second year, at the end of the third year, right? So I dialed it down, dialed it down, dialed it down, dialed it down until I got the end result I was looking for. And I went, oh my God, I've been way over leveraged this whole time. And then the second thing I realized is that it's an aggregate of averages, right? Right? In finance, they call it like a percentage of sales approach, where if you double sales and last month your cost of goods sold was 80%, which means you have a 20% profit margin, right? Well, then that would probably still stay the same. You would need the same proportion of resources to make that new number. So anyway, so you would just say, oh, well, my COGS are going to be 80% of sales. So if I double sales, well, 80% of the new number will spit out the same thing and you get the same proportions, right? So anyway, so I created all that first and then changed the inputs of leverage, right? And so anyway, so I reverse engineered it. If $100 billion is too much at the end of 3 years, well, what if the goal was $1 million at the end of the first year? Or you could say, or what if the goal was $1 million at the end of 3 years, right? Because it's all exponential and all but proportional. So I started playing with it, and all of a sudden I realized two things. One, I was way over leveraged, like way, way, way over leveraged. And if I just followed the plan at the end of the period, I would reach the monetary goal I needed to reach. Cool. But then the next thing is I realized, looking at the numbers, my number one goal wasn't to make as many pips as possible, to make as much money as possible. Okay? My goal was to hit the average. Even though on a daily basis it was boring. As long as I had a boring day today, which means no huge winners, but that also meant no huge losers. So if today was boring and I just kind of hit my target, and tomorrow was boring and I just kind of hit my target, and the next day was boring, and that means all of next week would be boring. And by boring, I mean I'm never in a situation, I've never put myself in a situation to make big money. I don't need big money because at the end of 1 year and at the end of 2 years and at the end of 3 years, I know exactly how much money I will have, and it's more than enough to make me satisfied. So I'm like, I don't need to go big. I don't need to put big money on the line. I don't need to hit home runs. I just need to get on base. Just hit the ball. Try to hit the ball. Don't try to hit home runs. So I realized it took such a weight off. I didn't have that stress anymore of trying to make big money, right? So I reduced my lot sizes and I became more conservative and more disciplined as a trader. It might have been the most important weekend of my entire life. And I wrote it off in my taxes because I'm a boss. Okay? It was amazing. I just had to hit my average every day. Compound interest and the law of averages will take care of everything else. Just stick with the plan. And that's a financial plan. That's not a trade plan. Okay? So I planned my Forex business like a business. I stopped being a trader and I started being a business person again. And that had always led to my success in my previous careers, right? As some of you might know, I was a success before Forex. I was in probably 30 magazines and newspapers around the world doing my venture capital stuff before Forex. So you probably know me from Forex, and I do a lot of public speaking, and I've been in the Wall Street Journal, and I've been on TV many times. But I was already doing that before Forex, which is really interesting, doing my venture capital stuff. And so when I became a currency trader and I went through my first period of struggle, I asked myself, well, what did I do in the past that led to my success? And two things was, the first thing was I always had a business plan. I always had a business plan, and that business plan always had not just KPIs and KRAs and all that kind of stuff, but it also had like cash flow statements. Input, output, money, money, not just, I hate balance sheets and I hate income statements. I like cash flow statements. So anyway, so I'm like, well, where's my cash flow statement for this business? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to make as much money as I can every single day. And I'm like, that's not a plan. That's like opening a business and like, I want to make as much money today, but you don't have any idea what your business does or its efficiencies and all this stuff or inefficiencies, right? So I'm like, well, I need to get one of those. I need to have a business plan and a pro forma cash flow statement. When did I do this in the past? Well, in my past businesses, and I've had small businesses of just a couple of people. I've had businesses where there are a few hundred people working for me. I've had businesses where I'm managing 3,000 people. The one common thing is they all had plans, but also I always, always, always surrounded myself with other like-minded people. Usually smarter than me. Okay? Right? I got the looks, but I don't have the brains, right? It's all about my prettiness. So I had to surround myself with like-minded people, ideally people smarter and more talented than me. So I'm doing Forex. I'm like, where's my people at? Right? I'm like, I don't have a business plan. I don't have pro forma cash flow statements, and I don't have any awesome people around me. I'm like, no wonder I'm going through a dark period. You understand that? So I went on a business planning retreat, created a business plan, and then from that, I created 3 years of pro forma cash flow statements. It took me like a week to program all of that. And then I said to myself, where are my people at? And I said, well, I don't know any Forex traders. I can't even find a Forex book, yet alone a Forex trader. And I said, so how am I going to find people? And I thought about it and thought about it. So I started FX Bootcamp. Because I said, well, maybe I can get like-minded people to hang out with me if I just showed them the struggles that I've been going through and how I found success as a trader and why I quit my job at the firm as a venture capitalist. We had 300 employees. We just moved into a brand new building right next to the San Francisco Fed in downtown San Francisco. Prime time. We had two. We had 2 entire floors of a building. And I had an office with 3 windows with a view of the San Francisco Bay. I was a boss. Boom, they just promoted me VP, right? Living large and in charge. So I quit and became a Forex trader, right? So there I am. What am I going to do? I'm going to show people what I've been doing and what I've learned, because I know there's no good information out there about how to trade Forex. There might be good information on other things, but I don't trade other things, never traded anything else. I just know I have a ridiculous, sickening work ethic, and at that time, I could not find any information on trading Forex. There just wasn't anything. So I said, well, that's my secret then. I'm going to tell everyone everything that I'm doing, everything I've gone through, and everything I intend to do, and everyone can join me on my journey. So I started FX Bootcamp. And I did something radical no one had ever done before. I used webinar software to broadcast my screen live. No one had ever done that before. I was doing presentations at FX Street in chat. You would show a PowerPoint and then people would chat and you would answer. There was no such thing as live stream or webinar. Isn't that amazing? That's how long ago it was. So anyways, that's why we're here, guys. I'm still on the journey. I still love it. Still love what I'm doing. And you keep me focused, you keep me passionate, you keep me inquisitive, you keep me razor sharp. And I hope what I do every day has a positive effect on you as well. Yeah, Ernest, I didn't want to quit my job either. Yeah. I really enjoyed the work I was doing every day as a VC. Cool. Well, thank you guys. So maybe leave a comment on today's recording. It should be available about 10 minutes after the webinar is over. Maybe leave a comment on the recording of today's video and let me know what, how it benefits you. Being your own boss is a very important thing. Many people don't have the capability of being their own boss, though. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Oh, Ernest, barbershop environment. Yeah, that's cool. I get that. It'd be like owning like a cigar bar as like a retirement income and a way to hang out with your buddies. Yeah. Well, it's been an hour and 16 minutes. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Ernest says it's a lot of work. You should stop doing the work yourself. You need to hire people. Sir, when swing trading, how do I know where a price might... All right. Daniel, take a course at FX Bootcamp, or at least watch the free ones I posted. Okay? So the answer, though, is easily solved, right? Every trade plan has two exits, one for a loss and one for a profit. Okay? If you don't know where price is going, then you shouldn't be trading. Okay. Well, Joe, what she means is like a Fibonacci retracement, like a 618 would predict a 1382. Okay. Okay. But yeah, you seriously, like, you're asking really good questions, but when there's like 36 hours of detailed training, this is just not the right forum for me to give you a 20-minute overview, and it doesn't give you the same level of information, right? Bill, I don't know anything. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Well, that's where your bias comes in. Well, that doesn't tell you where to go per se. It only tells you where you want it to go. Okay? Okay? So your bias just says, like on gold, I said, I want this to go up. Do you remember that? Look, it went up. By the way, can you see how scalping this on a 1-minute chart I would have made money? I set this up. I looked very quickly at a 4-hour. I looked very quickly at a 1-hour. I said it would generally go up maybe for a couple of days and then come down for several more days. Well, that's sort of the basis of my trading. And then we knew this is somewhere around that 21. So I'm like, I'm going to start buying. Boom. Gone. Okay. Bye, 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 bye. But like a bias, for example, and in that case, this is my bias based on a 4-hour chart. That only tells me direction, but it doesn't really tell me a target. But that's where technical analysis comes in. Okay. So in this case, you definitely need to know price action and pivot points. No, Roger, you're correct. That is not the right language. But I'm trying to be as simple as possible, since a few new people asked basic questions like this. So I'm trying to continue with that language. But you're right. Lucas says the training at FX Bootcamp is spot on. Well worth the money, guys. Thank you. Oh, I don't know anything about all that other crap. Okay. Yeah. I think it's just other people jumping on to sell things. Honestly, Prince Philip. Now, Woody, I think, was the CCI guy who then, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know what they are. Guys, if it wasn't around 15 years ago, I don't know anything about it. Yes, I now know there are multiple types of pivot points, but 15 years ago there wasn't. I have not needed to change in 15 years. So anything new that's come along, I don't know anything about it. Nor do I don't honestly care. Because from the research I did on what existed in the past, most things don't work. Yeah, you're right, Roger. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Roger. You're right. I didn't say you were wrong. You are correct. Okay. So yeah, so anything new is probably just people trying to get on the gravy train. So yeah, cool. So we're approaching, getting closer. Okay. Remember, if we get down to 130.07, you should expect a potential role reversal, or sorry, a counter trend. Okay, because it's Tuesday. What is all this? Cool. AC Long. No, counter trends don't mostly happen on Tuesdays. It's profit taking occurs, which creates the counter trend if you hit your targets early in the week. Okay. So again, that's out of the swing trading course, guys. Wink, 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 nudge, nudge, nudge. All the information's there, guys. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the yens because the yens came down. So I broke even again on the Aussie yen. Yet again, broke even on the Aussie yen. So pound getting thrashed. Kiwi yen. Oh, I'm still long Kiwi yen. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm still long Kiwi yen. I didn't even know. Well, let's move it to break even. Take some risk off. Well, let's leave it here. I'm risking 12 pips now. Oh! But anyways, that's cool. I didn't know I was still long that one. Nice. Yeah, that's my text messages. Yeah, it was funny. Years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I get a text message and it makes that sound. My dad, who was visiting, he looked at me. He's like, "Was that a tweet?" I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, that was a tweet." What else am I going to say? Because technically it was a tweet. I don't know if it was from Twitter, but it was a tweet. Yeah, that's the President of the United States. He just tweeted me. Cool. Cool. So there you go. Joe Chang says Kiwi bullish, don't know why. Well, you know, this went back to last week, and maybe it was the swing trading group, but we did some relative strength exercises and found that Kiwi yen was a maybe, and Kiwi Swissy was even more better. Like they weren't great, but there was some hope for Kiwi yen, but more hope for Kiwi Swiss franc. And so it just came from our analysis here, and you can see where it came down, bottom, 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 higher, high, higher, low. Okay, and the trade plan last week, so you can see I did this last Thursday. Can you see this, guys? You can see I did this last Thursday. So last Thursday with the swing trading group, we had discussed that I like the bottom off of the projected low. Remember, that's the projected low. Then seeing the bottom at the projected low is an aha moment if you're a bull. Doesn't put you long yet, but it's definitely the support you're looking for at the price you thought that you would get the support. Then we were up here, and I said, okay, that's really good because that makes it higher than this high, right? Which, as you can see, I'm doing it off of this. So based on that information, our trade planning prowess said somewhere around here we should probably buy, and our short-term target would be here. And I think that had to do with pivots at that point, okay? Because we planned it, we were still here, in fact. So it had to fall, which it then did, and then it actually hit. But then our target's here. The reason it's here is because price was still down here. It didn't do the high yet. So, so after the drop and after the higher high here, then the M4 moved from approximately here to there. So we were so right that we predicted the drop, which it did, predicted the entry, which it did, predicted the higher high, which it did, and because of that, the new pivots moved. So again, just to be clear, at the time of the planning, this was next week, which is now this week. That was the future pivot M4 here. But since our level of correctness was so good, for lack of better words, then the pivot went up because it did what we thought it would do. Does that make sense? So in that case, right, we were here. I pointed out this, this, and this at this, which meant this would be a pullback, would be a buy zone, ideally off of this. And you can see that's exactly where I bought it. Why? Well, that was the trade plan. Now, of course, we want this to go further up. And in fact, now this week, we want it to go here. So as long as we're above our current low, and our current low is here, okay? As long as we're above that, our target is now here. So I'm going for 68, and we're at 67 and a half. Okay? So I might get knocked out and only collect about a week of carry, or it'll turn and we'll go here. In which, at that point, when we're up here, I'll move my stop to here and lock in some pips. Okay? Okay? So again, if you were in my swing trading group, you were already good to go. So you're a buyer at 67, it went to almost 68. Cool. And then the other one I remember that was the Kiwi Swissy, and that would have been over here. Oops, let's do it this way. Maybe here. And this one actually didn't take off, although at that time it was good. So we were here. Yeah, check this out. Pretty funny. How funny is that? We were here on Thursday, and we were planning buy it here or buy it here. Now the pivots have moved a little bit. So again, it had to incorporate a higher high and then the low close because it actually closed low. So, right? So we were saying here on Thursday that we wanted it to come down, right? One, our plan was to have it come down to, well, this and this. So 6270 to 6250. Okay, 6270 to 6250. Okay, that was based on a confluence of weekly and monthly pivot points. So this is what we planned on Thursday. On Monday, we hit those prices. Now, you could have been a bear and thought the opposite and traded that. Okay, but we were bulls. It made a high, then it made a higher high, and our planning on Thursday said, that's good. We need it to fall before we buy. We're not even interested unless it falls, but we're buyers. Isn't that cool? Then two, we need that retracement, right? So we need sort of that creates a buy zone. And then three, we're planning a higher high. As you can see, I draw there. Now, it's hard to see because remember, none of this existed yet. So I had to squeeze it in on the space that was on the open space that was on the chart because I couldn't see any of this yet. So we were here, and all I said is, well, that makes me a bull because we made a high above this zone. So somewhere around that zone in the future, I would like to buy again. So our plan was down, 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 up, 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 up. It was all a big guess, a hypothesis, based on technical analysis, right? And a bias. And so now, maybe it's happened, maybe it hasn't, but the thing is it was well planned, okay? And you can see now our reasoning for the targets, right? Okay, it didn't go anywhere, but do you also see why I was able to catch the Kiwi yen and not this one? There was no real setup. Like, I had the right price, but it didn't set up properly. On Kiwi yen, I got the right price, and it did set up properly, and I did take the trade. Okay? Make sense? Cool, right? Hey, Barry. Cool, right, guys? You can see very similar planning here for Aussie. Okay? Once again, something that we did in the swing trading group. So do you see the theme here? One, you need to open an account to Trader's Way. Two, you need to finish the video training courses at FX Bootcamp. And three, you need live training either through live@fxbootcamp.com or swing.fxbootcamp.com. Okay? You need all of that stuff, all of it. It's the trifecta. So get on it, right? Oh, Joe, it's Joe was worried about asking a big question. Yeah, it's not a big question, so he'll get a really small answer. I had to pick one or the other. And Joe, the honest truth to it is, if macroeconomics goes bad, it doesn't benefit me personally at all. It's a bad thing. So it's more of a want. I want macroeconomics to be good. Okay? In that case, I'm a lover, not a fighter. So it's more of a flip of a coin, really. So if macroeconomic conditions improve, I'll do very well in Forex, but everything else I own will do well as well. Okay? Thank you, Jean-Guy. Yeah, could you do the likes? Please leave comments on the video. Please subscribe if you're new. Please open an account at Traders Way. Please start taking training at FX Bootcamp. And download my chart templates if you want them. And I'm about to spend time working on that today, adding more templates to the basic download, okay? So, without further ado, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for being on my team. You keep me sharp. You keep me focused. You keep me excited. And I thank you for that. See you tomorrow.